Hey, everybody, we are going to look at some of the different marked hands of hands we played. These are two live hands that I played this weekend, both about my bad reads. All right, why are you doing that? We don't need that. Excuse me. I don't know why it's gotten in this mode. Here we go. All right. So I've got pocket jacks in the small blind. There is a $1 on the button, which doesn't matter because it gets raked away anyway. So here's a raise of 10. This is a normal raise for this game, a raise to 10. That's not a big raise. But it does affect our ranges. This guy is played a little bit tighter, not super tight, but tighter than the rest of the table. And I considered, after getting this call and this call, and this call, I considered not squeezing because of him. But I just thought all this dead money, this is the time to do it. So did a squeeze to 65, 30, 40, 50, 60. Out of position would take me to 70. I decided that 65 was big enough, both because technically it is a pot size raise plus a little bit because they're going to rake away $6. So there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, if the tighter player went over the top of me, I was folding. I had decided that. So I cut it down by 5. Good, bad, whatever. He folded, so I was ecstatic. And the guy who called me, I had no description of yet. Just nothing specific about him. I get this fabulous flop. And I decided continuation bet, and I meant to bet 50, but I bet 20. I meant to bet a small bet, but it was much smaller. And that was just a physical mistake.
You just grabbed the wrong amount of chips or something?
Yeah.
Did they know that you did it? That you made the, or did they not know you made a incorrect bet size?
Nope, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I mean, I meant to
So there's no like interaction with the dealer.
Can I string bet?
say what? Did I string bet?
No, did you ask, can I string bet?
No, I didn't. I put in a bet. I sort of had this, I sort of had this third pot in my head thing, and I just bet 60. So a third of 60 is 20. And then I went, that's not the pot.
Yeah.
That's my bet.
That's easy to do. Okay. So I think it's
But
fine with this actual.
I don't hate it.
combo.
I don't hate it. I mean,
1/8 pot bet.
it does act to induce. So I didn't hate everything about it.
Yeah.
It
Calls.
Then a terrible card comes. And I check with every intent to call. I check. He bets 110. I expect that I'm beat. Not all the time, but a lot of it. But I got 10 out. I got 10 outs. Out of position isn't great, but they're kind of, like that. I call. And the river is this.
Oh my God.
So except for the size of my bet on the flop, we're all happy about the hand so far, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What do you want to do on this river?
Not the run out, but how
No,
you're
hit
playing
run
it.
out. What do you want to do with this river?
So he's kind of capped,
Not
but I
really.
think he's
He's
got
aces
some.
still.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I think he still has aces.
Yeah, I think he does. Like aces is an ace.
No, like ace
An A.
queen.
Yeah, he's got lots
Yeah,
of aces,
ace
but let's think
jack.
about what his range was pre, right? So
Yeah,
he's
probably not.
flatting in the button after 3 callers, right? So he's like massively over flatting, if you would, over calling. And so he does, of course, have a lot of ace X. I mean, your options are he bet 110, he bet B50 on turn.
Yeah.
I think this is a check.
All right.
That too.
Right. So the title of this hand is it's all about the read.
Yeah,
So I say he never has ace king here statistically, very small percentage of ace king for all the reasons we know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When he bets 110 on the turn, that half pot, while it's not huge for the pot, it's kind of big for a 1-1-2 game. It's a big size bet.
yeah.
So I don't think that given the 4 straight on the board, that he's going to be doing this with a lot of 1 pair hands. He might be doing it with a 2 pair hand, but he's doing it with a lot of kings. All right.
Yeah.
If he has a king, which I think is his most prominent thing here, he doesn't have an ace. Therefore, I do that and jam. I have
Interesting.
aces and he doesn't, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion is
Definitely have
wrong.
Wow,
Yeah,
what a
bummer.
fucking wild call over bet on the turn by him too.
Yeah, that
Flop
really
makes
did
sense. He
surprise
just
me.
fucked up on the flop, really. He gave him like all the
Yeah,
fucking chance to try to get a backdoor
exactly. Yeah,
and a gutter.
the 20 just killed me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's where that hand went off the rails. So given this, nobody but me thinks that this is a reasonable idea, right? I'm the only one here who thinks this is a good idea. And now I don't think it's a good idea anymore.
I
But
don't,
even
yeah, I don't think this is a good idea.
right.
Especially
Okay.
seeing he has an ace six. Like, oof, he has
Yeah.
a lot of aces then.
Right. Yep. Mike, you gonna come in and save me and say that it was at least reasonable? Or am I just
Well, I just got in after pretty much after the flop, so I kind of saw I saw the misclick on the 20.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did not like the river bet, no.
All right. Well, now all of us agree on that river bet. All right.
I'd like to see what the solver wants you to do with your set. Like, even if it was just like a heads up situation here in this same run out.
I don't think that the solve makes a lot of sense here because I'm putting so much emphasis on him not having ace king, and he has ace king in the solve.
Do you think?
Yeah, he's got some oh wait a minute. You think that does he raise away all of so when it just
Yeah,
goes raise and I 3-bet, is it
pre
100% ace king? Oh yeah, it probably
pre-flop if
is.
pre-flop if it went something like raise, call, and you're on the button with ace king, I doubt there's any calling.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But if
So
he's like raising ace
yeah,
six
let's look at the okay,
spades on
I'll
the
look at the
turn,
solve.
he's probably raising like every single ace on the turn too.
Yeah. So there's the button raise. There's the small blind, I 3-bet, and his button range. He doesn't have a call of ace king at all. Okay, so we can play this. So I can make so that part of my read is right. Okay. So he calls. Flop is queen jack 10 of rainbow, if I remember correctly.
Now,
Queen jack of rainbow.
to clarify, solver does not have ace king. But
Right, but we're looking now.
we see it every day.
Mhm.
It
Oh
happens
yeah,
every
people are.
session.
Yep,
Population calls ace king a lot.
it's a
Right.
drawing hand.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yep.
right. But I don't think, but I think that this situation is where they don't do it a lot,
Yeah, with like all those limpers and
which is,
everything, all that dead money in the pot,
yeah, here, this is the
and then
pre-flop
you
action.
raise. They could have just got it in pre-flop.
Yeah, medium-sized raise for the game. Call, call, call. I mean, call, call, fold. I don't think that's a lot of ace king.
Nah, I
Following
would
this,
think so.
yeah, following this, I don't think this is a lot of ace king.
Yeah,
Following
it felt like
this,
a suited ace.
following this on the flop, this tiny bet, I don't think this is a lot of ace king. And then when he waited this long, maybe, maybe. So there we go. I think I think there's so many steps at which the ace king went away, even live, that he does not have, that he has
What would
very,
you have done if it was just like a brick river? Check
I would have
call.
checked. I would have checked and considered folding.
Mm,
Probably not. Probably wouldn't have folded. But I would have considered it a lot.
we went down that rabbit hole of not having ace king. Did you want to go back to the solver and?
Yeah, I'm going to, yeah. Yeah, my feeling is, as I go back to the solver, that I would have evaluated based on his size on any river, any non-board pairing river. There was some size I would have called. Pretty small though, because I'm calling for a
Even
chop.
a board paired river is kind of like, eh.
No, board pairing river is great.
I mean, yeah, you get a full house, but like, what is he calling with a lot of broadways too?
Yeah,
So
I-
you can have, you know, two
you
pairs
can. You can. I prefer it. So I'd prefer it to be a
with
10.
that size too.
All right, so here we go. So there's the flop. So we bet out and our size is every size. So you could go as small as 20%. And
Yeah,
I
dude,
went
yeah,
18%.
perfect.
So not the worst thing in the world. Not what I
Nope,
intended to do,
solver approved.
right? And now he, with his button range, here's him. After that, so I bet, wait a minute, hold on, what's going on here? Oh, I didn't see it. There's me betting 20%. There it is. So he can call a suited
Hey,
ace.
Hey.
Yeah, he can call a suited
Mhm.
ace here easily. And the suited ace that he's calling, I've just got to move these windows out of the way.
Suited ace.
So I can see what's going on. You can see my screen, but I can't see my own screen is what's happening.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, so he can call these suited,
Mhm.
this is, with a backdoor against that size.
Yeah.
So that was my first level of mistake. Now the king comes and it is the king of I hate myself. I'm sorry, the nine of I hate myself. There we go. So that will be the 9 of clubs in our world. And now the jacks. They just mix. And so having checked, his ace can certainly bet.
Oh yeah, this is it. Sorry, buddy. That's funny.
Yeah. And his size appears to
Bottom of
be
range.
20%. So he's supposed to bet, when he bets here, he's supposed to bet small. Let me get yeah. No, that's his, let me get strategy on here. Not strategy plus EV. Is that what I have? Yes, I do. So these numbers here, yeah, these are the percentages. Yeah, so he bets small and he bets a lot with an ace here. So that's my other thing that was wrong, is he does bet, in solver land, he bets them.
Now, if we give him every suited ace, I bet he would be checking more.
Yeah, but he bets it, but the size is small. It's gonna be hard to see
Mhm.
it's 50%. Does he have any 50% bets in the solve? Yeah, he does. So
It's all
there we
right. You go small. You guys
bet.
keeps the SPR like
Yeah.
because you guys were
You bet.
deep stacked.
And when you're here with jacks, you call mostly. So there's the call.
I'm reading too.
And then on the river, the king. And we'll just get the suit right. Not that it matters. King of diamonds, which is the suit of the jack. That's what matters there. Suit of the jack, king of hearts.
Oh, Jax.
Woohoo!
Look at you finding it.
Look at it.
That's
It's a
hilarious.
thing.
Eights.
Well,
I don't
but
think it's a good thing.
it's a block bet in the solver.
Oh, that's, I got the
Oh
wrong.
yeah.
Okay. All right. It's not a thing. It's a 35%.
Why? That's a
thing.
weird block bet too. You're not like getting
Yeah.
anything. Like what's
What?
everything that calls you was just going to win or just tie anyways. It's like
But did you
or
start
you're
200 big
protecting a
blinds
bet.
deep though?
They were like way deeper. I
Yeah,
think.
we're nowhere
Wasn't
near
much.
this. Yeah, the SPR is way off.
Yeah.
Way the hell off.
So
Yeah.
it's probably the same.
I bet just under pot. I bet 75% pot.
Even your ace
I don't know
queen
if it's
bets
hell
a
that
little
off.
bit.
Yeah.
Ace queen
Yeah.
because you block their top pair on the turn that is like, so it keeps him having lots of kings.
So this is a bad play.
9 jams though.
Yep.
Weird.
This is a bad play that worked out badly. My next hand, the last hand of that I recorded from this is we get a raise. This is a normal size raise.
I think you were just stuck in no man's land though, like because you like picked that small bet on the flop and it kind of probably just shook you a little bit during that hand.
Yeah. But even if I bet the normal size, he can call with the ace there. He could have called. This could have happened. I just didn't expect him to bluff the ace on the turn. So here's another, it's all about the read. That's a normal size bet for this game. The guy who calls here is a very fun player. He's got a 90% plus VPIP. He calls big pre-flop raises and he calls the flop wide. Okay. That's him. This guy is shorter stacked than us. We've got, I've got 500 big blinds. This guy's got 234. This guy's 134. But remember, this 134 is wrong because this is a mandatory straddle game. So in reality, this guy is 65 big blinds deep relative
So
to
our other villain is about 120 big blinds deep.
he's 120 and I'm 240. Ish, 250. That's what we really are.
The sizing, I'm interested in your sizing here because I don't know what I do. I think I go. Can I guess your
Those are
sizing?
Huge.
Oh, yes, you can guess my sizing.
It's 165. That's my guess.
Nicely
Ooh, I
done.
was gonna go 150, but
Yeah.
even better. Any
90?
size, really.
90, 120, 150. This guy calls big pre-flop raises, 165. Call.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
He's
let's
gone
talk
bigger,
about
bigger
how
as
we
well.
need to adjust in the future in this game. We don't really want this to happen, even with
No.
kings, even with
Nope.
aces.
Ugh, it's the worst.
So in the future, do you choose to upsize here? Or do you
Yeah.
think the sizing was fine and this is an anomaly?
No, in this game, my very big bets have gotten me heads up a lot.
Okay.
I'm
I'd
very
say
big
if
bets,
there-
meaning my normal, look at this hand. Pre-flop.
Mhm.
1,000 people are in, only one calls. It's perfect.
Exactly.
Post-flop, it's not perfect. But this is great. One player.
Yeah,
But
you're
I
heads
think
up.
this
That's what
next
we want.
hand, if you like recognize the table dynamic that this guy's pipping 90% and calling huge, and you should kind of test the boundaries, like go 250,
Yeah.
300,
So here's
just to see what happens.
so
You
this is
fold,
a big,
you get folds one hand, oh no, then go
Right.
down the next one.
yeah. So this side, so he's calling big pre-flop raises, but this is an extra big pre-flop raise at this table. So he's calling, he's limping a ton of hands. He's calling all the raises to 30 and like that. And after calling a raise to 30, we've seen him call 140, 150, and we've seen him fold, if somebody went up to 200, which is rare that it happened, we have seen him fold some of them. So we were comfortable that he was going to call way wide against this 165. We didn't know that this guy was, but also we don't know how good we don't know his range. He's uncapped. So I don't think I need to go bigger than this to usually get heads up in this situation. And I don't think I need to go smaller than this to keep this.
But I mean, why not try to make more money against the whale?
Because there is a size that he is folding to. And it's going to be somewhere in the sometimes 150, depending on his hand, sometimes 150, sometimes 200. He might go to 250, but I think he's folding to a lot of those sizes. So that's why. I'm with you on the thing. I'm saying that, do you need to go bigger to get heads up? Not most of the time. And do I need to go smaller to keep him in? No. And can I go bigger and keep him in? Maybe. I have to think back and think of any folds he did. Yeah, he did some folds pre-flop. And he did some folds against me because given how this game played, I was, I was in a good position against him, against his limps. I did a lot of raising of, I did ISOs against him. So he and I were in a lot of hands together.
Ugh, of course.
Of course. Okay.
Like fold.
So check,
Not even the king of clubs either. Fuck.
check, check.
Yeah, under the gun too though is just fucking,
Yeah.
you know.
I have the best hand here a lot of the time, and not the
Mm,
best hand here a lot of the time.
Your range has the best hands a lot
Yes,
of
I
the
do.
time, but
Yeah.
under the gun too has a lot of aces, I bet.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
And I doubt
So
cut off.
we
Cut
all
off
like
probably bet.
we all like to check out of position with range here, and we also
Yeah,
like
of
with
course.
this hand and this board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the turn,
Can't be a 10, of course.
what do you want to do on the
Gotta
turn?
do 9. Check,
Check. Okay.
of course. Fold.
200.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So I looked at this and thought, if this guy folds, I think I'm going to go with it against under the gun too. Because it's only 330, because of how much my downside is limited. But when this guy comes in and does the call, Joey
Yeah.
is screaming in my head. Plus, this guy has enough money that this could go very badly for me, even with it. So I fold. River's a 6. He goes all in,
Shit.
folds. That's a C.
Oof.
he
And he called
showed.
that big bet pre. So hey, you got 2 whales at the table.
He
Yeah.
slammed it on the table after he scooped the pot.
Yeah, I'd be
I
happy.
I
You're trying to
don't
make some
remember if he
money.
I don't remember if he just showed it or if we talked about it and then he showed. I think what happened was when this guy folded, I think I made a remark of, oh, now I don't even get to see. And then he turned it over. I think that's how it went. And I congratulated and I said, really well played. And he
Perfect thing to
said,
say. Perfect thing to say. Love
and
it.
he said he said he wasn't going to bluff the river if I had called. So he wasn't going to bluff the river against 2 players. And I said I wasn't going to fold if he had folded.
So now you got to be that guy. I'm calling light from now on. You ever seen that clip?
It was a pretty
I'm
special.
calling you light from now on.
It was a pretty special moment, with it. And to give you an idea of the thought process, the guy in the cutoff said he was, he was confused. He said, wait a minute, you were gonna, he was looking at pot odds here. So he was thinking that I do call if he calls, but I fold if he folds here because now I'm getting 200 more in pot odds. And my thought was the opposite.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
And so
Puts you into the mind of the fun player.
so that tells you a little bit about how he thinks, tells you a lot about how I think.
Man, you just got free notes on that under the gun too.
Yeah. Yep. And that was
Fist
was
pumping.
I was
Happy you're at this table.
yeah. And I suppose that pre-flop, while this was horrifically wide, he had a good reason to believe that he wasn't going to get 3-bet, that because this guy doesn't 3-bet, and that he was going to get a call behind. So so he might be terrible for doing this call, or he might be thinking ahead. So those are my 2 hands. The session was very good. It
Yeah,
was
I
over.
bet.
Um,
That's
and
all
those,
right. Shit, you're gonna fold the best hand sometimes. It sucks.
Yep.
It always
Yep.
hurts me too.
All right, who's got hands?
Well, you know me.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Okie dokie. It's king under the gun. We
Okay.
go
Sweet.
raise. Here we go. We get flatted in the cutoff by a broken stack. 50 big blind, broken stack. We get that flop. Typically, I would be just checking range here to pretty much anybody in position down here. Although I don't always do it to the white belts. I will
Mhm.
c-bet more often.
Yep.
But this time with this hand, I just checked and you got this little tiny bet from him.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't going to fold yet.
Yep.
I would consider folding if he went
Reasonable.
big though.
Yeah, you got a lot of ace-x of diamonds.
So we get that turn, a check, and he goes like just under B50. Like, this is kind of where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
do I keep calling?
Well, certainly you are indifferent. I
I
mean,
mean, yeah.
against his play, there isn't a right answer here because it can't be wrong to call here, and it can't be wrong to fold here, I believe.
Yeah, probably indifferent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see call though.
I
He has a lot of diamonds still.
Yeah, if his bet was not an automatic, you check, I bet, you missed that flop. If his bet was based on his hand at all, then the 10 is good for him and bad for you. Because
His
all
10
of his
jack just got
all of
there.
his all of his non-diamond bluffs just improved with that 10. Everything that wraps around the 7 and 8 is good. Okay, but you called.
Here comes the
Yeah.
deuces.
I checked the ace river.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance?
He was pot.
I call. I don't even think about it.
He's been very aggressive.
Yeah.
We've got like
Maybe I
ace
should
10 of
think of,
diamonds.
maybe I should think about it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So I did. I mean, I made the call. Of course, he had
yeah,
that, but the
that's
turn I was torn, and the river it wasn't going to be, it wasn't a snap call for sure. And because I have been trying not to make these hero calls on the river, I've been trying to like just let them go kind of thing, and just I don't know, but it's just I don't know. It seemed too good at this point now.
This is not a hero call. An 8 is a hero call. Pocket nines is a hero call.
yeah. Yeah,
This
it's a just pay him spot.
this beats some of his value.
Like Berkey and them say, just pay him. It's
Ace
just
5 of
pay
diamonds.
spot. What do you think, Larry? Just pay it?
We don't have a Larry right now. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So that wasn't too bad. I like to get your opinions on those kind of things.
yeah.
What side is this?
This is Ignition NL50.
Right. Do you have any desire to solve that one? It's straight up solvable.
Well, you're probably right. We probably could, right? We just give them a
Yeah.
button range,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
do something like that.
Yeah, let's give
Yeah,
him a button.
that's actually kind of interesting, right? Well, the sizings, yeah, I guess
I think you're fine.
we could probably check it out, right?
Yeah.
Let's go. I got to move this out of the way.
And we got to go 9-handed.
Yeah.
You tournament 60 big blinds.
Oh, right. That
Oh, was he
I
short?
yeah,
Yeah.
he started with like 50 or 60,
Oh, right.
which of course I
But
won't
it's still
have.
that's not going to matter that much in this
Yeah,
hand.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not the way the action went,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Yeah, I think we can do this. I think we can generalize here.
So we were top of the under the
Yep,
gun here. We
yep,
raise, just give him a call here down here, and we go to the flop.
right.
And it
And his
was
hand is ace seven suited, and he doesn't have that hand here. That's a problem,
uh,
right?
well, yeah, I mean it is. It's certainly, you're right. I mean, we're not going to be able to solve it versus his range.
Right, that's a problem. But let's go on anyway. So let's get a little bit of information here.
They have the no. Do you turned off rake or whatever, so you have wider ranges?
I have rake on. You think it would make sense to turn it off to give him?
A little bit wider range, maybe.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It was 7-8 of diamonds, two of
Yeah,
hearts.
because the problem is if he doesn't have ace seven or ace eight, the play doesn't make that much sense in his case.
He has it suited only.
I
And
don't
see what
have.
happens. Like,
Oh, we have no
EV.
chip EV for this one.
mm,
Okay, moving on. We're gonna just yeah, this screws us.
Yeah, because I think it probably, you're right.
let's just
Yeah, look
pretend
at
he
his
has
button range.
ace
He doesn't have
seven of
ace seven or
clubs.
ace eight, right? Just click on his button range and we'll just make sure that I'm right about this.
No, he's not going to have the offsuit.
No, he's got suited. We're fine. We're fine. He's got it.
Yeah, I mean, I know he can have like ace seven of clubs or ace seven of spades, but when he
Ace
has all
seven eight.
this stuff, when he
Yeah,
has like a bunch of
With
stuff
the
that is
offsuit.
not
Yeah.
in this chart,
yeah,
then
It is,
it kind of makes the solve a little,
yeah, way bad because
yeah,
yeah.
he gives us so many probably bluffs too.
yeah. The number of combos goes way up.
Mm-hmm.
So
So let's see how we play this against a person who has this range.
okay, so we are under the gun with ace king suit, checking range there as it. Oh wait, was there? It's not checking range.
No, you can bet.
Oh wait, no, that's the button. Here we go. Here's under the gun. Yeah, that's checking range.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which I
Oh,
figured. But like I said, I will see bet against,
Yep.
like that particular opponent would have been a great time to see bet there.
Mhm.
So button our ace, or they bet small. They bet B33 with their
Yep.
ace seven, whatever it was. And then
Mhm.
we ace king with the suited clubs are just folding. Again, but that's against that button range. It's a lot tighter than the
Yeah.
typical range.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the call is okay.
What was your combo was ace
Clubs.
of clubs.
Yeah. So I'll justify that as an okay call.
Yeah.
10 of clubs. This is where it's probably
But I
not.
think it's good to know.
Yeah,
I think it is good to know that this is that with no backdoor nuts, that this is a good fold with the ace king. You just go, okay. His bet was also smaller. He didn't bet 3.55. He bet 2.
No,
Yeah, he
this
bet.
is the turn.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
2.15 on the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, he bet like a B33. It was pretty close to that.
Yeah.
It was 2 into.
Yeah. Oh, that was, I was looking at the wrong street. Okay.
And here he goes under
Four.
50.
It's
So
only
he's,
at 3.55. That's good.
but
Kind
his
of
bet
evens it
sizing
out.
should be really big. He goes like 40. I'm thinking if we even give him 33, ace king
Yeah.
clubs is fold. Uh, yeah, pure fold there. But again, maybe against a much wider range, maybe it's a little better.
Yeah, if he has all the offsuit aces, and he's betting with a diamond.
Yeah.
But
Good.
I think I think against your opponents, I think this is decently informative because remember, solver also finds bluffs they don't find. So,
I just thought the 10 was kind of because it's like 9, 10, 10 jack.
right. That's what I was looking at is
Yeah.
that the 10 is good for him. So,
Yeah, no, I think that we can stop there. Yeah, that was a little too loose. A little too loose, and that's what I was worried about. I didn't know
Yeah.
how small he could make it before ace king became okay.
Yep.
But okay. The next
Also
call.
got it, you know, good note that he just likes to bet the his like bot, middle pair for a little bit.
Yeah. And this played into my decision. His aggression factor was like really, really high. I mean, I know it's not something that you really put a lot of merit into over short samples, but it starts to show itself. It rears its head.
Yeah.
What is it? What is aggression factor
So it tells you the
calculate?
opportunities they have to check or to make an aggressive action. An aggression factor of 1, I think, is where it's pretty much they check sometimes and they bet the same amount of times. So when this number gets up past like
Mm,
2 and 3, it's like they rarely take a passive action.
yeah, that's not a bad call. I don't think
Yeah.
actually. Now explaining that, yeah, definitely 6.5. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad call.
Yeah, this is a big number. Like it's pretty
Yeah,
rare to see this size,
Yeah.
especially
he's
over this
betting
mechanic.
everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's my leak is I'm a calling station when it comes
Yeah,
to
my
shit
team.
like
Yeah. But I think, but I don't call you a calling station on the river there.
Yeah, me neither, because like he could
Yeah.
still be betting like a 6,
Yeah.
and not even have a pair at all because he has a
Yeah.
six off probably,
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
and it hits his ace and bets.
It is hard to think that it's hard to think that for him that after betting twice and getting called twice, that he sees the ace as good for his range and bad for yours,
He probably or
if
he
he's thinking that
ranges.
far. But still,
Yeah.
if he has the ace, he may most
Yeah,
of it. All right, here we go.
he's fist pumping, thinking his crappy offsuit ace just hit.
What do you got there that he has your pair beat? Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
Limped pot from the button, so we
Right.
know we're dealing with a recreational white belt.
Mhm.
Uh, Jack 3 will just take the flop. We do hit the flop. We check, probably could donk, I suppose, but these limp things are just always so weird and never know what to
Uh,
do. He goes pot, which is very common. We've talked about it on these calls a lot. We see limpers and then they pot the flop, like just
yeah.
a huge frequency. Like it seems
Yep.
to be like very, very common.
Yeah.
And it's not the nuts. It's often bluffs. It's all over the map. So I chose to do that.
It's not very Jonathan Little approved, but but it's not terrible.
You don't have any
Um,
2 pairs really, but you
Me?
have
No,
like
he has every two. No,
I, yeah, I have
Hero has
everything,
seven
every
every
two.
two
top
Oh,
pair.
he
level.
limped. Oh yeah, yeah, he limped. That's right. Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
You are littered with seven deuce,
yeah,
seven
yeah,
three.
yeah, yeah.
And by littered, yeah, you mean I have them all the
You
combos, but I
have them, but
also
you
have,
also have every other
Yes.
combo of
yeah,
everything,
exactly.
except for like aces
You
and
have more seven deuce
best
offsuit
and
than you have ace king offsuit here.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
you are littered with this nonsense. All right.
but you probably don't have like threes. Would you raise threes?
Probably don't have sets.
That's a good question. I
You don't have
think I
sevens.
often will take low pairs to limps. I think I do. I think I check behind, like with the low pairs, like twos, threes, fours.
Yeah.
I think I probably start ISOing them around fives,
Right.
which maybe is a mistake. Maybe I need to ISO every pair.
Don't know.
Yeah, these limp things are always like
Mm-hmm.
weird, mess with my mind. I never know what I need to do. But he calls,
Okay.
and yay, got
Yes.
3. Uh, so after I check raised and got the call, I chose a slightly different. I went here. Um, and I don't know why. I kind of feel like when I do this, when I check raise, I often and miss. and check again, I get bet into quite a bit.
Okay.
So I chose this check line. This is probably dumb. He checks back. We get to here.
Sick.
Now I think I just have to like get value from 7x. I don't know what else. Like maybe he limped fives, fours. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, there's certainly the thing in the solver maintaining us. The solver will do some checking here, we believe, because of the what story did you tell?
Mhm.
But
And then
I think I am betting here to try to get called by a bad 7.
yeah, and
Big,
Peter Clark says
maybe
this a lot
bigger too.
too. Peter Clark says this a lot. He says, and sometimes you just gotta somebody just won't believe you, and they'll call with ace high, they'll call with king high.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's an unusual line. That's why sometimes I like to bring them here.
Yep.
He got called by a 7x
Great.
or two pair
Oh,
actually.
even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he limped that. Jeez.
Yep. If you checked that, he probably would have bet the 7. He probably would have bet 2 pair here.
Yeah, but it's so hard to like. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't think the nine's going to give him two pair, or you
Mhm,
just think he's
yeah.
going to
Right.
have.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's yeah an unusual line. It's probably I don't know. I didn't know how to treat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the limped pots. Okay.
That's not bad. Spicy raise on the flop.
Yeah, it was not something I typically do with that combo like the middle pair and three.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all those low cards that I could have it all. I could have all the kind of
Yeah.
the nutty stuff there.
Yeah. And I think
You still have outs.
the better play there is to bet the turn, and here's why. Your check raise is filtering. So you've got, he's now got a range that can probably call a bet. So that's my thought. Does that make
But
sense?
you
So here-
would bet like all your like draws that you like if you had diamonds, you probably would have continued betting, or would
Yeah.
you check that too?
No, I think like maybe if I have 5-4, let's say, or what could be another like 5-6. Do I start to give up when the board pairs? Or do I keep blasting?
Just repping your 2 pairs still. 2-3, 7-3.
I guess
Deuces.
do a lot. Yeah, I do. The do a lot of continue to bet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably better to
So if you check raised any backdoor flushes, you continue the diamonds and you don't continue the other ones. That would be my flush thought. I have no thought on this. I have no thought on the straights.
yeah, probably in my mind I'm thinking I'm being somewhat balanced by checking when this three hits occasionally. But do we need to think that? Do we really care against somebody who limps the button?
No,
Yeah.
you need to be
But
balanced.
when they like limp and then bet and do a check, check raise call.
You need to be maximally exploitative.
And I think maybe I was thinking that was more exploitative is checking
Mhm.
there and letting them bet.
Right. And the reason I thought it wasn't, could be wrong on this, is when they called the check raise, they
They have something
they they
like
they
either a piece
they have
or
enough that they
ace
probably
five,
could
ace
call on.
four. Those
Yeah.
probably still continue on the turn, calling.
And someone who limps the button is not likely to bluff the river. So against his draws, when you don't bet, you give him a free card to hit his draw. And the reason we do that in no limit is because they bet the busted flushes, they bet their busted straights on the river for big size, and we call them down and we make big money. But he's not going to do that because he's a button limper.
Yep, good point. That's very fair.
And also, they might not believe that you have shit when you betting the middle pair turn. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, your hand looks, what does your hand look like? Your hand looks like a 7. You don't need to slow down on a 7 on the 3. You don't need to. So there we go. That's my thought. Larry, you got anything?
Could be a 7-2 even, and he has to call his 7-9.
Yep.
Kind of surprising he didn't bet the turn though. He checked back.
Yep.
For being
Larry, do you have any hands?
limper.
Larry stepped away. Okay. Dean, do you have any hands you can show?
No.
All right, then I will show one, and then we'll go back there. All right. Here we go. This is what game are we playing? This is the 50-cent no limit game. So this is the $50 game. All right. It goes fold. There is a raise. Ace-10 suited is a 3-bet. I take it. There is a flat call. There are no flat calls there in GTO world, but there are in the real world.
Yeah. Like 9s and 10s. People love calling
9s
right
and
there.
10s
Jack.
and some suited aces and
He's scared to pull
maybe
that
ace
him.
jack or ace queen off suit. Maybe he's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
All those things possible. He checks. We have a gut shot.
And backdoor flush.
We can bet.
We got the world
We can bet.
over. Shit, I mean, we're nutted pretty much.
Yeah, this seems like a good hand to bet. After 3-bet, we can bet small if we want. He calls. Oh well. Okay. That's pretty good. Kind of like your hand. He checks. What do we think now?
I would check back.
Check back, and then and if he checks the river, we bet for value.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It seems like I'm trying to think of a reason to continue betting here. And I can't think of any.
Sometimes we didn't have the best hand on the flop, and now we do. And you can still call some of those hands. Those would be our reasons, I guess. Let's see what I do.
Yeah.
I
And-
block-
and-
We
yeah.
blocked
Are
it
you
for
going to
having
get 2
10s.
streets out of it, or just 1 street here or 1 street later?
It was on the let's get 1 street later, and then
Mm.
this card, which is bad.
Yeah, not good for you. Well, it's kind of
We see-
neutral.
We see check, yeah. It'd be
But do I go? But after he checks it, do I go for it? Card's bad for me because it also makes all the aces. We now split with all the other aces.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
That's bad,
But still
and he makes it much harder for him to call us with a queen. So
yeah,
with all that in mind,
he probably just has a 6-5.
but we're supposed to bet small. We're supposed to bet for thin value more. That's supposed to be our exploit then against the solver, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
in value.
So we're supposed to bet 15 here and 17 here a lot.
Because you have like 8s and 9s, and
Hmm.
you wouldn't mind a queen folding.
You could have a
A
queen.
mergy.
We get called.
Mm.
Doesn't raise us. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, majorly.
So
I think he played a fight.
we all like the check on the
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
then
good, seriously.
how bad do we think, not just against his hand, but
You would
against
have lost more money actually if you bet, because Jack King's got a call, right? He's got a pair and a gutter and a
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
it
tough
folds.
to know if he calls there. Yeah, he might he might overfold. You know, he might fold. I feel the river like when you made the river bet, I thought it was really thin, but like you said, I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to get more thin value out of some of these players, and
Yeah.
you're gonna lose. You know, like you did.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna lose some of the time. Um, but it's like, you know, what will he call you with? Will he call you with a worse ace like ace? What does he have
There are
here?
no worse aces. That's the
Yeah, I
problem.
just don't. Yeah, I don't think he really has any aces. So
But I'm saying something different. We split with ace deuce. There are
Yeah.
no worse aces anymore.
yeah.
That's the
So
problem. That's
so
why I think
king.
that's where I think this went too thin.
So do you get yeah? Do you get king
Like
queen?
queen.
You know, queen
Yeah.
is a queen gonna call?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, it just seems thin.
All right.
Seems too
So,
thin.
so the one thing that makes me not hate it is Matt Affleck says, if when you bet for thin value, you're not sometimes value owning yourself. You're not betting thin enough. That you need to choose the floor of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
value bets needs to be low enough that this happens to you sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So this happened to me. So that's the reason to look at it good. But the reason I think I look at it bad is if the jack is if it had been if it had been the ace, even if six paired, yeah, no. If my kicker plays, I think I can make the bet, and if it doesn't, I think that becomes too thin. But I'm unsure. What do you think? That's where I'm talking about the line here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think that's it. Okay, good enough.
You just gotta have enough bluffs to
Yeah, and then
make it so they call with the queen.
okay, and then this is our other hand. Okay, here we go. King queen on the button. We get raised. We can three bet this. We we do. We get called.
Mhm.
Flop top pair. He checks. We can bet top pair here happily.
Mhm.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a king high board, good for us.
We get raised.
Any villain dependent type reads here?
No, no, I played this
Unknown?
hand so long ago. I don't remember anything about it. This is a year ago.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I'd probably
it's
just try to get it in.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, I think we
I
just
just put
call.
it in.
Oh, you want a three bet, Dean?
Yeah.
So why?
I was thinking just call.
This hand is not that interesting, but now that you've said that, it became really interesting to me. Why do you want to jam it, Dean? What does that accomplish for you?
Well, I mean, he's, what are we just gonna call and give him like his, and like call down and wait for an ace on the turn would be bad. Like it's any spade, a four, a two. What else? Like
Okay. So if you
what is
jam,
he? Does he have like fives or threes? What is he trying to rep here?
right?
Ace king. What is he like? What are you losing to right now?
You are losing to
Threes and fives that
a
he opened from there and then
you're
called up.
looking to threes and fives, ace king. You are not losing to 3-5 very often, 3-5 suited very often, and you are not losing to king five suited very often. You are and his ace king is a little limited because he didn't four bet you, but not only a little bit. He doesn't have to.
There's like a lot of aces, spades,
Yeah.
ace four.
Right. But so here's the thing. When you jam here,
Pick up a
does
nice pot. You don't have to
he folds a
deal with
lot.
it if he folds.
Do you want the
If he
hands that
calls
fold?
the ace high spades, then you run it.
Do you want those hands to fold?
Ace four of hearts. I don't mind.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
So
picking
when
up
he
a
has a
nice
bluff, so when he
38
has a
big.
high equity bluff here, your jam gets him to fold it. So that's good.
If he has like king jack, king 10,
You don't want him to fold it.
is he going to? We'll see.
Would you? I'm not saying they play like you.
Still think I
But
have the
would you,
spade.
if you check raised a king lower than king queen?
Against you, definitely not.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that your hands here are going to be that the hands you are going to check raise here with a king in them are going to be The hearts. You're gonna do this if you have king 10 of hearts or something. You're not gonna do this with just king jack offsuit, are you?
King Jack. I don't know if it would or
Check
not.
raising king jack
Check
there?
raise.
And
On a three
and if
bet.
you check raise king jack there, let's say you do check raise king jack there, are you gonna fold to a jam?
I put King Jack off. I wouldn't. King Jack of maybe if I had a Jack of Spades, I might.
Right, you mean you might call, but most of them you're gonna fold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I'm saying that I think your jam, this is the problem with your jam here, I think, is that I think your jam gets a lot of hands that you would like to play against to fold. Hands that are good.
So then all
And the
our
hands you don't want to play
suited
against
aces are
are the
getting
ones that
King
call.
Jack to fold too.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, I'm on team call too. I don't
Yeah.
like a jam there.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, we do get called by everything better, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
the ace king doesn't fold.
the
Bets don't fold.
the drawbacks to not jamming are we're giving him the equity when we call.
Yeah. And I would say that his high equity
And the
combo
other,
draw type hands, like an ace four of spades here doesn't fold to a jam and doesn't need to. But an ace four of diamonds does, and that hand is drawing pretty thin against me.
And we
Pretty
have the extra queen of spades equity.
Yeah, with the
just in
queen of
case we are
spades,
dominated.
I don't think we can fold on the flop. We could fold here, depending on
oh
his
yeah,
size.
we're not folding the flop.
Right. So he
Because now
checks.
when we call, we also allow him to continue his low equity bluffs, even his high equity bluffs.
Yep. And they didn't get there. except for the
Assuming they do.
4-6. And it's hard for him to have a 4-6 here. Really hard. Not impossible, but hard. So being checked to now. What do you think? Because this is when it gets weird.
I checked.
So we have the best hand now a lot of the time.
The bet is fine. I mean, second check raise is a pure fold.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking size though. Like, what size do we want to go? If we go B50, we're talking 30. That pretty much like, do we
We're
get
not
to bet
folding.
small? Do we
That's the
get to
problem.
bet small and fold?
Yeah. Are you really gonna bet 30, get check raised for 41 more and fold?
That's why I think
Or
check
bet
might be best
30
here.
and
Yeah, I think I gotta check.
they call with the
Yeah, it's a great run out. Ace King
We
is
can
not
value.
out of the question. Ace King is not out of the question, although his checks now have, I think, really discounted that. I would value bet.
All right. And so with the Matt Laffak rule, we're going to value bet about 30, 28, something like that. Or are we going to?
Yeah, 30. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm surprised at the call, number one, and I'm surprised he didn't continue with the bluff, but it would have been.
Right. So, um, this hand is not a good illustration of why I think the jam is not good. Because in this hand, we shouldn't have gotten any more money. This shouldn't have worked. But you do see at least,
you're
Dean,
put
that
in a
against this
shitty spot and
yeah,
you're
against
like
this
you get put
particular
in a shitty
hand,
spot
Yeah.
and you were even thinking about folding another check raise
Yeah.
and you give him free cards to the river.
Yeah,
Like
but think
you
about
for
this.
ace hits.
Looking at this hand, Dane, which result do you rather have here? Now he has 5 outs. He has 5 outs on this thing. But if I jam, he folds. Would I rather him fold here, or would I rather give him 2 shots at bluffing and then this insane thing actually going right? I mean, you can't count on this going right.
You get too.
But given this hand,
you went check on the. You're gonna go check on like the turn,
Yeah.
and then give him. He gets to the river for free, getting possibly an ace. I mean, you could pick up a 60 big blind pot.
yeah.
too.
So my question is, so let me ask it to you a different way. If you're faced with this, and I mean this exactly, meaning his hand is face up, and you see this, he doesn't know your hand and he doesn't know that you know his hand, but this is his hand. What do you want to do against this exact hand, not even against his range? Do you want to jam on it and deny him his 5-out equity?
And if I know he's going to check the turn, yeah, might as well.
Okay. Okay.
And if he,
You don't know he's gonna check the turn.
check, and I'm scared he's going to check raise the turn, and I have to fold a king. Or if he's going to continue betting, and I'm eventually going to fold a king on the river too.
Okay. So you get to play your game any way you
Like
want.
if it runs out,
Yeah.
you know, a spade on the river, and he just jams on you, you're folding.
So here's what I think is going on, and I
ace,
think that
too.
this is an improvement you can do in your game. Understand that I'm not a better player than you. This is just my opinion. You get to ignore this entirely. You get to play your game your way, and you don't have to convince me you're right. So all I'm doing is giving you another narrative in your head, and then you decide if you like it.
No, I already understand your
Okay,
guys'
so here's my
like
narrative.
what you guys are explaining exactly why you don't want to jam.
Yeah. Right. So here's my narrative to you.
But I'm happy
I
with the
believe-
big blind pot here.
Okay. So here's what I believe. I believe that one of the things that is inspiring your jam here is comfort. If you jam here and he folds out all the equity and you get this pot, you lower your risk. And that's true. But you didn't come to play poker to have low risk. You came to play poker to have intelligent risk, where you risk that where everybody at the table is risking money, but you're risking at better percentages than they are. That's the long
Not
term.
like risk, it's more about like you're like already talking about folding and stuff. It's just like if he continues, like you're just going to be happy fist pumping king queen in there.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that by jamming here, you take
For
away.
me, I have like bluffs on the flop too to like I can
Yeah.
bet jam all my
Yep.
ace of spades too.
Right.
So
Okay. But here's the thing I want to say to you. Take a second
if I'm
here.
getting a pair to
and
fold, then I'm happy.
Take a second here, Dean, take a second here and don't justify your position. Remember, you have all the power in this conversation. You are going to decide what you do. The
Mhm.
thing you want from this is you want to hear my position and not argue against it first.
No,
and
I know. I'm just
consider
saying,
it.
like I understand,
Right.
like you guys explained it.
Okay, good enough then. If you understand my point, then you've got everything and you get to decide whether or not you think it's a good point. All right,
And
good
then
enough.
you know, a tight, aggressive player like you just calls on the check raise. What does Dylan one thinks you have?
Right.
And why is he going to continue? You know, like a lot of bluffs. If you have a big king or ace king, even you might just call a check raise there with ace king too.
Yeah. So my reason for wanting to do this
Your call's just as strong as a jam.
except that when I call here, I risk him hitting his 3 or his ace. So I have that 20% risk here. Absolutely. But I also gain the possibility of him continuing his bluff here for a size that I call and giving up on the river, and I get that extra bet. I also get the advantage of him checking here. I check behind it on the river. I don't fold this. I'm not folding this on the river. I might fold to a jam, but I'm not folding to a smaller bet. And I get this miracle here that I would not have gotten if I had jammed. So those are the upsides. We've discussed the downsides. You get to decide which one you think is more important. I think we both made our points.
Yeah, I think aggression is more common when you're out of position. However, having the power of position is going to result in a spot again.
Yeah.
Not to beat a dead horse, but speaking of dead horses, do you guys have time for one hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you.
Larry hand. We
Yeah.
haven't been asking for that
We
the
have
whole
time for 2 Larry hands and then we'll be done.
time. We haven't been asking for Larry hands this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let me share this.
You were gone though. We were sad.
But I'm back. Okay, here we go. So, can you see my screen?
Three-handed,
Three-handed.
broken stack on the button. This is gonna be good.
This is the beginning of a tournament.
I don't know why I was playing
Yeah.
short-handed. I guess I was just doing my thing. So open. We're gonna defend here.
Yep.
Quite a flop.
I like your queen on this flop.
Open-ended. Jack is a magic card.
Yeah. Magical open-ended.
Now, yeah. So
Sweet.
now we hit a card. We bet. He calls. SPR is like what? 4,
Yeah.
which is any overbet ever. This one.
So you're targeting here, you're targeting other eights with that size bet, right?
So targeting. So I don't know how good I am at targeting. Targeting really depends on saying there's a couple combos that I want to call. And this is 4 to a straight. No, it's not. It's 3 to a straight. And so I've got the rep. So I would say that I'm targeting sets. Or I'm targeting 2 pair plus.
Okay. So going back, it went check, check on the flop, right?
Yes.
Check, check on the flop. Your bet on the turn was small.
No, it was B75,
Okay. Yeah. Bet on turn was
B66.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. B66. There we go. All right. A little bit less. Yeah. Okay.
We get a call.
Yeah.
And so, I'm thinking, so I don't know. Maybe I should start thinking in targeting terms. Peter Clark doesn't really, he has issues with targeting because he thinks we should
Okay.
think range. So I'm maybe thinking, I'm thinking about equities and player class, like our
Right.
hand class rather. So, I think I've got like a 90% plus equity hand.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about what calls a B75 and what calls a B75 could be like that after a check could be like Jack 9, 10, 9. There's some hands, there are
Yeah.
some hands to maintain that sustain this sizing.
Yeah. So I guess my thought on this is, and by the way, did it go bet fold?
No, it went bet jam.
Oh,
Yeah,
he jammed on
I
you.
haven't given you the whole story.
Okay. So when you bet here, my thought is that if you're trying to get called by he has very few sets here as played, I think.
I think you're right.
But he can have 2 pair here. He could have picked up 2 pair with the jack easily.
Yeah,
Um,
A
and that
broken
this
stack
bet,
might have offsuit eights.
yeah, the bet, I'm talking about, but I'm only talking about those hands, that the bet is a little bit too big for those hands and it's a little too small against his eights. And so I almost think you want to decide which of those to target and optimize for that.
okay.
It is,
That's a
it
valid
is
point.
2x, which is good. But but once you've gone 2x, that's what I thought is once you've gone 2x, you're really aiming at the eights and the eights will call more than 2x.
Yeah, I can see your point. I mean, yeah, I think you have a valid point.
Right.
Unfortunately, he jams.
Right. He jams,
And
But we
you
get
have
this, hey,
second. You can't fold here.
he has
no,
the
we
eight.
can't fold, so we just run
If he has
into
king,
it.
queen, or he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scared about that.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
was scared about that on the turn too. Like it's kind of good for him because you don't have any king queens, right? You would have 3-bet him.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
Against button.
Yep.
So he has
Sad
like all
face.
the king queens.
Bad
ace,
face. Yep. But you're
such.
supposed to go broke. I think you're supposed to
Yeah,
go broke.
you gotta go broke there. Gets a broken stack. It's all.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, I don't
Okay.
remember this
That's
hand.
another
See
hand.
what I
eight.
do.
Give us another hand.
So we've got, looks like we've got a
Yes.
poster.
Get him. Get the
Yeah, we've got
poster.
a poster in hijack.
hmm
I used to go to the poster.
What a
Uh,
stupid place to
what
post.
do you guys think of size is? What size did you use here?
9,
Big.
I go
10,
14.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I think
Weird.
14's good.
Too small, Larry. Too small. You gotta go 14.
That's where this hand goes
We've
off.
talked about this, Larry. We've talked about this.
I've got to overcome my internet, don't I? So, and then I weirdly the poster flats, so this is really strange. So, this is like a poster who luck boxed into like sevens or tens, maybe some suited connectors, maybe some broadways.
I don't know. Earlier we saw one that was 3-5 suited. So
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
just
could be.
expecting anything.
Although he raised 3-5 suited was on a poster.
Oh
He
yeah,
raised
yeah. That's right. He wasn't opposed.
called
Yeah,
that.
he raised.
and called 165.
Okay, so this is interesting. So we get a very good flop. Multi-way out of position against two ranges that call a very large squeeze.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's 7-4, this is a very static and dry board, agreed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So if we're gonna have any bets multi-way out of position, I don't know if I bet here, frankly. This texture would be one in which we would bet.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
This
agree.
is in Solverland, Solver is telling us the opposite of what a lot of our previous advice was. We bet big on what boards, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't know what I do here.
I see the pros or not, I see some of the like Titan guys bet in spots like this.
Yeah,
the
so I
cash game.
choose that this texture allows for me to bet.
Yeah.
I choose like essentially 325.
I would have done the same thing.
Okay, cool.
I probably would have checked on the idea that it's easy to get it all in on 2 streets anyway, but this is fine.
Yeah, I see your point, Scotty. I think checking is fine too.
I mean, yeah, the only thing you want to make sure is that you lose all your money on the river, by the river,
Mm,
if they have you beat. You want to get all the money in. That's all you care about.
I can call
So-
it wild.
kind of I think this is, would you guys have preferred an ace or a king if you got to
No,
choose from the
okay.
deck?
This.
You get to choose the deck. I
Let's
would
get-
have liked the King of Hearts.
Yeah, king of hearts. So this is pretty close to our ideal card. I might check here. Let's see what I do.
Yeah,
Oh, so
check
I
would be
think, so
pretty
this is another
tricky.
spot
I
where
think check would be pretty decent, I think.
Yeah, you can
This-
check here because you can still jam the river.
yeah,
Oh,
because what's our SPR? SPR is one.
SPR of 1.
pretty
Yeah.
easy
Multi-way.
cases.
So this is a play I employed live 2 nights ago, which worked out well. Not as well as this. This guy was a little bit more reasonable, but I think we get what we want here.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
fine. Yeah, great. Maybe
And
Nice.
so-
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love
And
it.
so I'm not saying this is always the best choice, but I think oftentimes this is the best choice.
No,
I
I'm like-
mean, and he would have called a jam, I think, when you see his combo. So the question is, I guess really, if I jammed, he would have called it. He's got a pair plus draw and he's playing crazy. So the question is this a better, and I'm hoping to elicit some honest answers from you guys. Is this a better play to check than to just polarize with our increased equity? Am I too trap happy?
No, that was
this
a
hand, I
great
don't-
I like
opportunity
it.
to check. That was kind of your perfect stars aligning. I mean, you have the combo that you want, you got the run out that you want. And you have the stack sizes that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about 1 effective against
If you had the
67,
ace of
19.
spades, what would you have done?
Say it again.
If you had the ace of spades, king of diamonds, think it would have made a difference.
No, I don't think so.
Not
If I had ace of
blocking-
spades, king of diamonds, no,
Blocking
I don't
any of
think,
their
yeah,
draws.
blocking any of their draws. I mean, I see your point. But, I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have changed this. I think I could play this either way. I just wanna
I think it's
confirm
big
that
as a broken
consumers are playing
stack.
this profitably.
The
'Cause I
reason
always
I like
wanna,
this,
I always wanna level set that I'm not getting too trappy.
the reason I think this one isn't too trappy is because the SPR is one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we have more urgency with the greater SPR. I think you're right.
I think this is just fine.
Okay, cool.
For
Thanks,
the
guys.
same reason, I think it would be just fine to check the flop and just fine to bet it.
You're like 300 big blinds deep.
Yeah, it's a
But
different
here's the
story.
one problem with playing cute here.
Mhm.
And that is, let's say that he floated the 11 with spades. And he's a better player than he
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
You might not get the money on the river that you get on the turn. When the
Exactly. So the way he should have played this, if let's say he had 9, 8 of spades, which would be a more reasonable hand.
Mhm.
Multi-way, someone in the middle of the sandwich
Mhm.
would check, and then I'm never getting
Yeah.
any more money from him.
He
Yeah,
checks.
never would have
If he hits his
jammed.
ace on the river,
That's true.
you know, you might get money. If he hits his spades, you lose money unless it's the ace of spades or the nine of, well, he's got that, you
So
lose.
I think if any of us chose to play this way, like let's say we did post in UPG, and let's say that we did have 9 of spades, I don't think any of us are bluff jamming multi-way in the middle of the sandwich here.
No,
Semi bluff jamming. So yeah, this is very player dependent.
but that's only against the one range.
Mhm.
With the two
Would-
players out there, you've got two people who can make a bet on the turn. You've got two people who can make a hand worse than yours to call you on the river. And you've got two people to call your jam on the river even light because of how you played the hand.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the other thing is that I think, let's say we do if player 80,
Mhm.
that's a B33 or B30, which I think would be a common size here.
Mhm.
I think our only play, well, what do you think our play is? What do you guys think our play is? If this went, I check here, 52 checks, player 908 checks, and then player 719 bets 20. What's our play?
Oh,
There's a
God.
call, so we can, if player 52 jams, we can rejam. But he'd probably still jam anyways, too.
Okay, so I think we call, but only because player 8908 posted, one off the big blind and called a raise and a re-raise.
Okay.
So he's bad enough that he can overcall. If
Okay.
he is any kind of reasonable player, I don't think we try to be extra cute and try to get his 20 in there. I think we check jam.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think so, because there is a flush draw out there. And when we checked, we didn't check to try to give the flush draw free card. We did it to try to induce.
Mhm.
That's what I think. I don't love my thought process there because we were offering a flush draw. We were willing to offer a flush draw free card. So why aren't we willing to offer a flush draw card for 20?
Yeah.
Because it's two ranges and we don't want two ranges going to the river for cheap. But we just said we would let two ranges go to the river for free. So there's something wrong with my thought process because it's self-contradictory. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, so what, on the flop, what is 6-7-1-9 calling? He probably has a lot of kings too, worse kings. So he's probably going to bet a little bit, quite often, on the turn. You're like checking your aces. He wants to get some value from them.
Yeah.
He could call 10, he could call at queen 10, queen jack suited there. He could call a gut shot for 11. I think. Can he? Not really. Not at that SPR. Well, yeah, he can.
But they
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, I would.
He can. Yeah. Especially with the back door. Yeah, he can call. He can call. He can call queen 10 of diamonds, queen 10 of spades, queen 10 of clubs, queen jack. He can call those hands. Does he ever have pocket jacks or pocket tens or pocket queens here and continue this way? Does he call a bet of 11 with those hands?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he calls one time for that.
Like the check too, because you would check aces. You would check your aces.
Yeah, I
I would
would.
check ace. I would check aces when the king's paired. I wouldn't just auto fold
Mhm.
them, but I would check
No,
it.
but
would
if
check 'em, though.
52 jammed and player 6719 rejammed, you definitely folding
Fold. Yeah, fold. Fold and let him show me that stupid 3-5 suited.
it. Yeah, I know.
Do you
Not
guys
the
want
way-
to see a crazy hand real quick?
Yep,
Yes.
and then we'll be done.
And and then we'll be
Yeah.
done. We'll go through this quickly, but this is me trying to learn how to play bomb pots. Full
Mm.
table.
Oh, we saw this one.
Oh, did I show you this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
All
That
right,
was a
I'm
good one.
done.
All
then.
right.
Well, let me.
I'll see you guys next Monday. Normal time. And then Monday and Tuesday of next week is good. And then the next 2 weeks, 11th, 12th, 18th, and 19th, I'm gone for all of that, but I can probably open the room.
Okay.
And if I can't open the room, then you and Larry, you and I'll figure out, we'll do a login thing and figure it out. Okay.
Okay. So talk to you guys on Monday.
Sounds
Mike, did you want to
good.
say something real quick?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right,
See you guys.
guys. Cheers.
Yeah,
Good to hear your voice,
Good
Dean.
luck out there.
Congratulations on your new mic.
Thanks.
See you guys.